Hello, this is Vance, and this is Tuesday, October the 13th, 2015. And these are the CL trades for today using the slow hand method for price action. I wasn't on line on Thursday. I had some problems with for rendering my videos, and Friday I didn't record anything. Yesterday it was a Columbus Day, United States. And even though the market was pretty slow for the ES, but as far as the other markets are concerned, crude oil was fine. Again, problems were the issue with trying to render some videos, and I think I've got it ironed out. I think the biggest problem with this whole thing about recording and rendering and so forth has to do with Windows 10 and using Camtasia, and I don't think it's really working very well at this point in time. So, unfortunately, I've switched over my trade station, with Windows 10. NinjaTrader works fine, but every once in a while I get this memory problem, and there's insufficient memory, so I have to shut things down. I don't know if that's the source of the problem as far as rendering with Camtasia or not, but it certainly was taking a long time and kicking out my computer. I don't know if I've got it solved completely, but maybe there'll be a bug fix. I've looked at a couple of, I've been online a little bit looking at Camtasia and saying, how is it compatible with Windows 10 and the old program that I was running, sort of thing. I was running Windows 7 Ultimate, but in some respects, I regret not using Windows 7. Staying with it because I never had any of these issues before, and now it's become a major issue ever since I try to trade over with Windows 10. So hopefully I'll be able to work this out over the course of the next couple of months going forward. Can't really do that, so I've got to kind of really protect my resources, particularly when it comes to NinjaTrader and trading, online sort of thing. I can't afford to certainly. I need to iron out these problems, but I don't know what I do. I've already been back to the tech's been in here at one time, and I might have to take the computer back in again to kind of check out things and make sure I still have a couple of issues. But I'm going to give this a shot today. Hopefully it's going to work out, and then go from there. I've got a laptop for backup, but it doesn't have Camtasia. I'm not loading it on that. And doesn't have the microphone and doesn't have the big screens, and so there's a bit of a problem using my backup resources. So that's why I've been a little bit lax over the course of the last week trying to get this thing working. But let's see how it works today. Hopefully it'll be fine. I'm using the resource monitor to kind of monitor all my the amount of resources being used. Anyway, that's it for now. Let's talk about trades today and talk about what today really looked like. Today was really kind of a range day more than anything else. And frankly, by the time prices turned, I was kind of finished by about 11 o'clock. I really didn't look at anything short after that. But I thought I should mark it up because you can see that after prices peaked out really about 48, 43, it came all the way back down really to the overnight low. Very close to it. You can see where the overnight low was, how prices have bounced off that overnight low just before the open. So there may be a lesson in here. It almost was like a trend up day and a trend down day right at 12 o'clock. And one thing that I was really noting, if you look at this, and if you look the take chart for the ES, you can see it's almost like identical kind of chart. We had this big mountain. It's like I don't know, some kind of a mountain. It peaks up in the midday and then kind of falls off after that. So that's something to keep in mind there as far as what today was. Now, I didn't use it as corroboration as far as the ES is concerned. It just said this is after the fact. You don't know this and you don't see this till after it's finished for the day. So the whole point is to try to anticipate trades going forward sort of thing. So anyways, let's take a look at some of these trades. I'll try to zoom out here and kind of make it a little bit clearer. If you look at really the first trade was a short, really about just after 8 o'clock. I mean, if you're trading that early, it was a pretty decent. It was really kind of about a congestion, but price has broken this trend channel here, attempted to go up higher, and then failed from this. And I was looking more from along the lines of if you look at it from the standpoint of this being a measured move, and if you look at the measured move down to this area, you think that prices kind of pulled back and that there will be another move of an equal size from the overnight. Now, it didn't quite get there, but what it did do is that when it rebounded here, it broke this short-term trend channel, and I thought there was going to be a retest to this area. So, a little change in tactics here. Look at the fact that this is a second entry long right from off this bottom. Now, it breaks the short-term channel, but fails not too long after that. So you have this run up here, and so you see the first leg down, brings up here. There's a first failure, and let me just kind of see if I can open this up a bit more. See, this is the jumpiness with Camtasia. See how it's jumpy? So I'm trying to eliminate using this a lot, and I just kind of, hopefully I can do this in the rendering when I edit this on Camtasia later. Anyway, you see this price come down to here. We have the first attempt to go higher, first attempt to go lower, fails, second attempt to go lower, and then this is a second entry long right here. And there was enough room to get out, so they gave you 15 ticks off, but then when it gets to this top, it breaks through this channel. So this is really, it was close enough to consider a failure. Well, it's hard to say. I'm thinking more along the lines is that this is the top of the channel right here. Let me just move this up. This is the top of the channel right about here. It's close enough to test it. See, most touches around here. And so when I'm looking at this area as far as a failure concerned, that's why I consider this as a short right here. It's right at the EMA, just broke out from this EMA, and it's a pretty strong bar. So that strong bar, first attempt to go higher, fails. Second attempt, it looks like a bit of a trap, even though it's really close to this channel here, this short-term channel. And you can see this one worked out. So looking at a really another leg down after this, and you can see that after it occurred, it was almost a perfect measure move right down to here, right to the tick. Now, I marked this one as a second entry. This is a second entry long right here. Price makes it for first entry, second entry. And it was a pretty strong bar. Room to get out if it was going to retest in this area. And the other reason was we're close to the daily lows. Close enough. And so price did move out here. And now we have a breakout. First failure, second failure, and then it's a second entry long or a breakout pullback long to test this area. And so that's why it really looked like this was going to be ranging. So you can see the range. Here's the top of the range. I'm thinking this part right here. This is the first bottom, second bottom, and the third bottom. So you think it's going to be at least test this other side. And what happens? We have hesitation near this top, pulls back, and then a really good opportunity to get in a little bit longer here because now you can see this is a pretty strong bar. I think we're going to be higher, maybe even test the overnight highs, which, by the way, is right here. So that was a pretty decent way to get long in that for that particular reason. Now, price does break this channel, and this bar right here looks really to be. This is a second entry long. Why I didn't really mark it is because, well, we have it. This is the top of the channel. There is resistance. Mind you, there is room to get out here, but it was the way it really set up. You can see it was really this range. And when it broke, this is really the bottom of the range. It broke below this range, and it could very well test even lower. So that depends on where, especially when it come back down here, maybe retest this area down here, which is at the $45 area. It didn't. It kind of solidified out, and therefore, when price came to this area, this is second entry long right here on the stronger bar here. So it's really, yeah, I looked at it as this from here is a leg back, first leg back, and then maybe a second leg back. And as long as I like this trade a little bit better for that reason. Now, measured move, price makes a move up here, and if you take the arrow and you put it up here, the measured move really failed. It was almost a perfect measured move from here. And another couple of, so there's a move within a move in this respect as well. If you're in this trade, you have a first pullback, fails, a second pullback, fails. This is a second entry short. But the reason is by the time this bar completes on the entry bar, it's down here, doesn't give you enough room to get in. It's really not below the EMA. And you can see it bounce right off the EMA and then turn around and head up. And this is a second entry long. Again, another measured move from here. If you measured it out, here's a move, first pullback, second pullback, and then measure up to this area. And then from here, it was a spike and channeled a bit, kind of capitulation, second entry short right here. Again, it's really only a first entry. That's why I marked it in green, but your stop would be above this area here. And then again, another measured move down to this area, which I thought was a decent trade to get in. But again, in this area, you're looking at it's a fairly strong bar, but it's really, but you've got these tight moves in here. You've got this first entry, so it's the price first time to get up, fails, tries to go up again, and this is really like this is a trap. So traders that thinking going along got trapped. You can see this is a very quick move down to here. Hesitation down where we had this previous area of support, really near the this morning high, and you can see that price kind of capitulated a little bit. I mark these trades thinking that maybe we'll retest this area up here, as this is maybe just another leg. Thing is that prices move sideways, and once we had this failure here, and then this failed long, second entry long right here, or basically two pullbacks. We had this first pullback failed, second pullback. Depending where you got in, if you got in right at the top when this bar closed, it wouldn't have cleared off before it failed in this direction. You don't have this line in here until it completes, and so once it completes, you're looking at going short anytime it touches this line, as long as you have the proper direction, the proper price action leading into that these areas. And I think it really is pretty evident with that when you get to around the EMA or get to this top of this trend line, it really does hold with your 15 tick stop, and it started selling off, and it really didn't hit until it got to the bottom. Now, again, these trades here, I wasn't really looking at them because it was pretty much, I mean, these ones, if you're still in the market at this time, I think it's pretty evident you get down here. But again, the pullbacks were pretty dramatic, and if you were very efficient on your entries as far as your second entries are concerned, because this is a second entry here. First entry pulls back, second entry long rate from here, and it's on the bottom of, or at the end of, a measured move from down in this area. So if you look at this measured move down this area, and then first move down, second move down, so you can see that it was almost right to the tick. As far as almost right to the tick. Didn't quite get there, but certainly reason for maybe seeing some support. And it did pull back enough to get off your 15 ticks, but then we had this failure, and then for the rest of the day, apart from the slight pullbacks, you can see the price is trending down, and that's where we are today. So we're below $46. So pretty decent move. I mean, like I said, it was two tiers, two moves up, two moves down, or move up, and then the move down. So that's it. So I'll try to render this. Hopefully it'll work out. If you have any questions, please let me know. Oh, by the way, I had a question on the weekend from an individual who was asking me about Mac and how sometimes the second entries that he's explaining are somewhat vague or they don't seem to fit, and he was asking questions of why that is. Well, I've got an answer for that, but I won't do it today because this is getting to be 12 minutes. I want to see if it can render up before and hopefully post it. So I'm not going to do that today. But rest assured, I'll try to maybe stick it in, see if this works out. Maybe later on this evening, I'll do a quick 5-minute video in reference to second entries, explanation if I can. Or if not today, within the next couple of days. Okay? So that's it for now. If you have any questions, please let me know. This is Vance. Bye for now.